What's going on, everybody? It's Vaaraiant and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at another deck profile, and this is a nice version of Charizard and Terapagos EX. So let's start it off. Of course, we have a Terra package in here with two fan rotoms, because we're mostly focusing on Terapagos in the early stages and developing Charizard for the late game to knock everything out. Then we play 4 copies of Hoothoot, 3 copies of the normal one, and 1 copy of the 80 HP Hoothoot. And we play 4 copies of Noctowl as well. That is pretty self-explanatory if we play 4 Hoothoots. So, as before mentioned, we have 2 copies of Terapagos just to get the early pressure in before we're able to evolve Charizard, and if we get item lock, this helped quite a lot. Then, of course, we play 2 copies of Duskull. This is getting reminiscent of the old school Terapagos with Duskulls and Dusknors, and of course 1 Dusclops and 1 Dusknor just to top it off. And then our main goal is, of course, to set up a Charizard EX. It helps us with the acceleration of the energy, and of course it's a big beefy Pokemon. And we play 3 copies of Charmander and 2 copies of Charizard EX. So no Charmeleons, and yeah, just straight into Charizard we go. Then, as you see, we play 1 copy of Latias EX because we have a lot of basics, and especially before we evolve them, we can, freely retreat them. And it's mostly in use for Volcanion as well, for the Scalding Steam ability. So when it's in the active, you can make the opponent's Pokemon active Pokemon burn. And yeah, you put it into the active and then retreat it with Latias. And of course, Pheasantipity. This is if you say a deck, then Pheasantipity is in it. So it goes synonymous. Now, moving on to the supporters, we play 2 copies of a Yono, because of course we play small amount of copies for each supporter, because we can fetch them out with Noctowls. 2 copies of Bossazoders, 1 copy of Professor Research, 1 Professor Tour scenario, of course, so that we can remove any liabilities, or maybe reset the Noctowls. Bossazoders is of course pretty self-explanatory. Then we have 1 Colress Tenacity, which allows us to grab the stadium that we will of course get into. It's the Area 0, of course. And then Energy as well, if we needed to accelerate, if we need to attach it to our Pokemon. And Prior, of course, because we have a lot of Terra Pokemon, and at the end we're gonna be swinging with Charizard. So, just as a quick intermezzo, I want to mention that I have memberships available on my channel. Yes, I have finally reached that milestone in the YouTube career. So, if you want to support the journey and of course earn some unique perks with it, make sure to check down below and become a member. Now, moving on to the items, we have 4 Buddy Puffins, of course. We have a lot of small HP Pokemon, so we're using Buddy Puffins to get them all out. 3 copies of Nest Ball, because we play some basics as well that are not covered by the Buddy Puffin rule, and of course 3 copies of Ultra Ball for our Noctowls and a Pokemon that we can evolve. And that's not it, because we also play 1 Terra Orb. As you see, you can fetch Charizard or Terapagos with that, and we don't need any discarding and save the Nest Ball, for example, for something else. Now, of course, we don't have a Charmeleon, so 4 rare candies so that we can get into Charizard pretty easily, and of course use Dusknors and Dusclops as well. 2 copies of Super Rod to recycle energies mostly, and Dusclops and Dusknor, of course, when we use the ability. And 1 Night Stretcher if we want to quickly get something into our hand, like a Pheasantipity EX, which is usually knocked out. 1 Counter Catcher. You're usually the aggressor with this deck, so Counter Catcher is nice, but yeah, we don't need it in many quantities. And of course, our ace pack of choice is the Unfair Stamp, which is getting pretty popular in a lot of decks again. Now, our stadium, as I mentioned before, we have 2 Area 0 so that we can expand our bench and just do pretty much everything that we want. And we play 5 copies of Fire Energy. This is just kind of a standard simple Charizard inclusion. And one copy of Jet Energy so that we can get some Pokemon into the active, maybe a Terapagos if we evolve Charizard and we don't want to attack with Charizard, we just need to accelerate one energy to Terapagos and Jet Energy into the active. So yeah, it is very versatile and very useful. And this is it. It's actually a pretty simple list. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you will try this out or if you have tried this out and if you would make any changes. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.